And one of the terms I think you come up with is city nations, right? What's that looking like, and how are you taking EXO into that new realm?
Yeah, so if I lift up the highest level, there are kind of four major observations we have about the world, right? The first is that we have 20 what I call Gutenberg moments hitting us at the same time. The printing press in the 15th century changed the world completely, and we call that a Gutenberg moment. Well, solar energy changed the world completely. Blockchain changes the world. AI, autonomous cars, CRISPR, each one fundamentally changes the nature of society at a macro and micro level. In the face of that, those 20 breakthroughs, I think every institution by which we run the world essentially disappears and evaporates. We can't find an institution that's set up to navigate this. I'll just use education as an example. All our global education systems are trained to take a young child up through their early 20s and teach them to be ready for the job market, basically. And we don't know what a job looks like in 5 years. What are we teaching them? And so that's just one small example, but it goes across the board. The third observation is our current leaders clearly cannot navigate this. They're all trained in 20th century status quo incremental environments. And the final observation is that almost all the action, certainly implementation, is happening at a very localized level. We're going from nation states to managing the world via city states. When you think about Trump or Brexit, it wasn't left versus right. It was urban versus rural, right? And you look at the pandemic, all the big countries did pretty badly navigating the pandemic. All the smaller countries did really well because you have homogeneity, you can move a population along. Where the world is volatile and moving quickly and changing quickly via these 20 Gutenberg moments, you want localized adaptability. And so how do we navigate that in the future? We do a bunch of work around city transforming public sector, city environments. So we did a big project with the mayor of Miami a few years ago and laid down a lot of the vocabulary you hear coming out there. So we found a way of navigating and breaking through and transforming localized public sector environments. And then let's spread that so that anybody has that tool set to be able to apply it locally. I think it's if you talk to the Neil Fergusons and Yuval Hararis of the world, right? You look back, every civilization in history got to quite a sophisticated level. The Romans, the Incas, the Mayans, etc., hit a boundary condition and then literally fell off a cliff almost instantly, right? And you talk to the top kind of anthropologists and systems thinkers, we're kind of all the conditions are there now, and we're literally falling over the cliff right now. And what we're trying to do is, what are the systems we can build so that we can fail over more elegantly and not end up in 400 years of the Dark Ages?
And I think a lot of us entrepreneurs are building these new systems, right? And I think what I struggle with is really we've got a leadership in all of these countries that has no touch with reality anymore. It's like somebody was adding up, if Trump goes again and Biden will have to go again, because that's the only way these two can go, then you have the two presidential candidates in aggregate an age of 90 years, 180 years old or something. I mean, it's like, is that really
in terms of relevance to the new world, they might as well be 500 years old, right? There's there's some bylaw that you have to be under 25 to program the blockchain. There's somebody asked me if I could change the Constitution in the U.S. and make one change, what would I do? I said, right now the Constitution says you have to be over 35 years old to be president. I would rewrite it and flip it around and say you have to be under 35, because you just can't understand the world when these poor guys have no hope of understanding what's happening, right? Like trying to get them to sit on a Discord channel and understand the chatter of any kind.